Open the gates to 1982, where the squared circle was a sacred battleground, where egos were oversized and the punches even bigger, and where the Wrestler magazine served as the gospel for fans who lived and breathed piledrivers, power slams, and pure passion. May 1982 is not just a snapshot of a wrestling moment, it's a manifesto. And in these pages, every grudge, every headline, and every whisper behind the curtain gets laid bare. We open with the thunder of the official ratings, a roll call of the immortals. Atop the NWA, Ric Flair, dripping in gold and arrogance. WWF, Bob Backlund, the squeaky clean hero still clinging to the throne. And in the AWA, Nick Bockwinkel, calm, cerebral, dangerous. The rankings are more than numbers. They're a scoreboard of power, prestige, and pressure. Every name from Harley Race to Hulk Hogan is jostling for supremacy, and every fan in the know reads between the lines. These ratings are a war report. Flip ahead, and we're hit with the early bombs of fan questions and Federation updates. Who's got the better sleeper hold? Roddy Piper or Adrian Adonis? Should Dusty Rhodes even trust anybody in the NWA office? The letter section is boiling over. One fan demands to know why the Von Erichs aren't ranked higher. Another asks if Backlund is too nice to survive the sharks circling in New York. The editors pull no punches in their replies. The tone is aggressive, confident, like a bartender who's seen too many brawls to be shocked anymore. Then we arrive at the heart of controversy. Did the NWA send Ivan Koloff to destroy Tommy Rich? This article is red hot. It reads like a political exposé, one step removed from Watergate. Rich, the boyish brawler with a growing fan base, was on the rise, too fast for the suits in the NWA, it seems. Leaked memos from Vice President Al Kasha suggest a not-so-secret plan to derail Rich's momentum by feeding him to Ivan Koloff. Not just a match, a mission. Koloff, the Russian bear, is portrayed as a hired gun, a merciless wall designed to break Rich physically and psychologically. This isn't just a match, it's sabotage in boots. The piece drips with paranoia, scandal, and just enough truth to make every fan clutch their copy and wonder, is the fix in? From there, we get the thumbs up, thumbs down feature, the magazine's hardline verdict on who's hot and who's floundering. Magnum TA, thumbs up. The fans are chanting his name from Amarillo to Atlanta. Rick Martel, also a winner, technical precision with the charisma of a golden boy. On the other end, Roddy Piper gets a hard thumbs down, accused of ducking top-tier competition and riding his mouth more than his moves. And the spoiler, also blasted, called a distraction more than a danger. The editors don't mince words, they slice reputations. Then comes a tribute to Pedro Morales and Ivan Putski, two friends about to become rivals. The Intercontinental title looms like a sword between them. Morales respects Putski, Putski admires Morales. But as the article reminds us, respect has a short shelf life when gold is involved. The magazine frames their eventual clash not as betrayal, but as necessity. The line between friend and foe in wrestling, paper-thin and blood-stained. The territory updates explode with action. In Georgia, Ric Flair defeats Ole Anderson by DQ, but only after Gene interferes. In the Mid-South, Ted DiBiase keeps his North American belt with underhanded brilliance against Paul Orndorff. Meanwhile, in a tag war of legends, Hogan and Tito Santana take on Bobby Duncum and Ken Patera, and lose thanks to dirty tactics and referee confusion. Every match recapped is drenched in drama. And just when the blood settles, we head into the steel jungle. Tony Atlas versus magnificent Muraco in a steel cage. No exits, no excuses. The magazine calls it the physical equivalent of a thunderstorm. Atlas doesn't just win, he survives. Muraco, arrogant and punishing, nearly snaps Atlas's spine before Tony hulks out and slams him into the cage like a rag doll. This isn't hype, it's war, documented in slams, screams, and sweat-soaked canvas. A rare feature pops up next, a correspondent commentary column that pulls in fan results from across the U.S. It's old-school crowdsourcing. Greg Valentine takes a pounding in New York. King Kong Mosca throws a tantrum in Toronto. Pedro Morales dominates in Detroit. It's a dispatch from the trenches with readers reporting who's over, who's fading, and who's snapping steel chairs like twigs. In the back pages, a reflective piece asks, is Hulk Hogan more hype than hero? While fans cheer louder than ever, the editors question whether the muscle-bound monster has the technical chops to back it all up. They praise his raw power but criticize his ring IQ. It's a gutsy call-out, one that would enrage his fans but spark debate at every bar counter and schoolyard lunch table. Can Hogan carry a promotion, or is he a runaway freight train destined to derail? And then, closing out the issue with gravitas and grit, comes the dream match rumor mill. Bruno Sammartino versus Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes versus Harley Race, and a fan-fueled fantasy about a tag team of Ricky Steamboat and Tito Santana. They may never happen, but in the pages of The Wrestler, fantasy and booking logic collide like thunder and lightning. This magazine doesn't sell fluff, it sells fire. It's gritty, raw, and real, soaked in sweat and printed in passion. From Tommy Rich's political crucifixion to Pedro Morales' painful choices, from steel cage war zones to Hogan's uncertain future, The Wrestler May 1982 captures a moment in time when wrestling wasn't just entertainment, it was everything. This is not a magazine, it's a declaration, a time machine, a punch to the gut followed by a respectful handshake, and we just turned every last page.